The morning after he died, I woke up before the sun. Not because I wanted to, but because silence doesn't sleep. In the early light, the living room was so quiet, so still. I sat there, hands clasped tight, just staring at his empty chair. The ticking of the clock on the wall felt deafening, each tick a hammer blow marking time he was no longer in. I found myself lost in a memory, a warm night from years ago. He was right there, on that same sofa, his shoulders shaking with soft laughter over some silly joke. I brought him a cup of tea, and our hands brushed for just a second. It was a small moment, one of thousands. But now, it felt like everything. Then, just as quickly, the vision faded. The sofa was empty again, the warmth gone, replaced by the cold, hard present. Everyone talks about the sadness of grief. They tell you it comes in waves, that it's a process. But no one tells you about the fear. The sharp, cold panic that wakes you up at 3 in the morning. A voice in your head asking, how will you survive now? How will you manage it all on your own? That fear followed me into the kitchen. My hand trembled as I tried to pour coffee, the dark liquid spilling across the counter like a stain I couldn't wipe away. I opened a drawer looking for a dish towel, and instead, I found them. A stack of unpaid bills. Envelopes stamped with final notice in big red letters. Each one was a testament to the life we were supposed to build together. Now a mountain of debt I had to face alone. The weight of it all settled on my shoulders. A physical exhaustion that went bone deep. I didn't have the luxury of falling apart. Our 3 children still needed food on the table. The rent still needed to be paid. My grief would have to wait. Later, in the bedroom, I found his old jacket, the one he always wore when the evenings turned cool. I pulled it from the closet, burying my face in the fabric. I could still smell him on it, a faint mix of sawdust from his workshop and the soap he used. For a moment, I let myself pretend he was just in the other room, that he'd be back any second to wrap his arms around me. But pretending doesn't pay the bills. With a deep breath, I folded the jacket, carefully, resolutely, and placed it in a box. I was packing away a part of my life, a part of myself. The days that followed blurred into a relentless cycle of survival. I started looking for work, but doors kept closing. We're looking for someone with more recent experience, they'd say, their polite rejections feeling like tiny daggers. So I did what I had to do. I started cleaning houses, scrubbing floors on my hands and knees, wiping down counters and kitchens that weren't my own. My body, which had already carried so much life, began to ache in new and unfamiliar ways. Evenings were spent at the kitchen table, under the dim light of a single bulb, counting out coins. Every penny mattered. I learned to stretch a single chicken into 3 meals, to make soup from almost nothing. I became an expert in the art of making do, of getting by. There were nights I was so tired I could barely stand, my bones heavy with a weariness that sleep couldn't touch. My body was slowing down, but my will kept pushing forward. It had to. One night, after the children were asleep, I sat alone in the living room again, the darkness a comforting blanket. And finally, I let it out. The tears I had been holding back for so long came silently, streaming down my face. I didn't sob or make a sound. It was a quiet, private release of all the pain, the fear, the loneliness I had been carrying. I let myself miss him, truly miss him, just for that moment. I let myself feel the full, crushing weight of his absence. And when the tears stopped, I sat up a little straighter, because I knew that tomorrow I had to be strong again. I didn't survive those years because I was brave. I wasn't some hero from a story. I survived because stopping was never an option. When you have people depending on you, you just keep going. You get up. You put one foot in front of the other. And you do the next thing that needs to be done. Some struggles in life don't have a neat and tidy ending. They don't just disappear. You just learn how to carry them. You learn to walk with the weight, to build a new kind of strength you never knew you had. The next morning, I stepped outside just as the sun was beginning to rise, painting the sky in soft shades of orange and pink. The world felt new, washed clean. A group of children walked by on their way to school, their laughter echoing in the crisp air. I watched them go, a sense of quiet acceptance settling over me. I took a soft, deep breath, feeling the cool air fill my lungs. And then, I started walking forward, into the light of a new day. Thank you for listening. If you connected with this story, please consider subscribing for more.